What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about elasticity, or will this make me more or less money? That is the question. Your objective today, you should be able to discuss and describe elasticity as it applies to economics and topics involving elasticity in our daily lives. We're going to talk about this, all right? Stay. So in class we did some review. We wanted to make sure that we covered some of these things with you guys, but if you need to go back, I recommend one of my previous videos. The content doesn't change. In fact, it is the same information. When we talk about elasticity, we're talking about how responsive an economic variable such as price, supply, demand is to a change in another economic variable such as price, supply, and demand. If I change the price, what happens to the demand? If I change the supply, what happens to the price? So forth and so on is kind of the questions that we ask. When we talk about elasticity, if I change the good, how it will impact my sales? If I slow down the supply, how will it change the price? Are questions that we would have to ask ourselves, right? We look at this and we see what is going on here. How does this apply? What does this do? And we make sure that we can actually figure this out and play with it. So what elasticity really is basically we're playing with the numbers to see what might happen. It's like a science experiment. If we increase the amount of fine paid for speeders, will it slow down drivers on our roads? Nope, because we still have to get places fast, truthfully. Right? And that's really what we look at. We look at other examples as well. If I change the amount of money that is paid for water, will people still buy it? Yes. Can I make a lot of money on water? Probably. The hard part comes to controlling all of that water. But when we look at it, you can kind of see those types of things happen, all right? And that's kind of what makes economics and elasticity such an important topic. So we measure elasticity in two ways. We have elastic goods is a good that has a large change in price. I love to think of things like sweatpants as something that we can actually see and do, and that's something that allows us the opportunity to kind of continue to put more things in there. I told the story in class about sticking pillows down my sweatpants to play hockey when I was a kid to add protection, and that's exactly what you can do. Inelastic goods are basically goods that change with very little over the course of the time. So an elastic good is a very gently sloped line, whereas an inelastic good is a very, very steep line when we look at it. Right? Elastic goods are non-essential goods, while inelastic goods are essential goods. So like a non-essential good would be an elastic diamond. A diamond is something that I don't need to survive, whereas an essential good would be water. I'm going to have to pay for water. That's what it comes down to. Right? Elastic includes goods that are normal goods, things like name brands, specifics, those things, whereas inelastic goods are ones that basically are essential for business or life to be accomplished. So elastic restaurant meals, inelastic gasoline, short and long term. All right. So what's that look like? That is an inelastic curve right there. As you see, there's very little change in the quantity regardless of the price. And here is a very elastic curve. Here's a very elastic curve, because what we see with that is we see that the price difference is great even over a small change in price. The quantity demanded is different even in a small change of price. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. Have a wonderful